Have you ever thought about how we could protect the Great Barrier Reef for our future generations to come? Well, in this episode of Frontline, we're taking you into far north Queensland to share a story of hope that proves when our young leaders take charge, amazing things can happen.
Having the mentors along the way, it helped us understand and comprehend everything that was going on.
It's been really special to watch these young people interact.
It's that passing on of knowledge which is just so important.
So to combat all that sediment going out to the reef.
I think if everyone plays their role and everyone does a little bit,
That's what's going to preserve the reef.
Cooktown's a really small town at the bottom of Cape York Peninsula. A lot of people here are very connected to the reef. It's our backyard, it's our playground. For some people, it's their livelihoods.
Cape York is quite a big area and we can't do it all by ourselves, so we're here to hopefully inspire some of our younger generation to take the lead on some of these projects and get involved and continue it into the future.
Cape York Peninsula is really diverse with lots of different types of ecosystems, and they're all connected. So I think we need to have young people coming through that understand that connectedness and understand that what happens on the land is affecting the reef. What we've found from a site like this is that we'd lose about 100 tonne a year of sediment, and about 90% of that is actually making it all the way out through the Annan River and onto the reef.
It all connects back together, and I think that preservation, making sure that those things keep connecting, that those bonds are still being formed.
The ecosystems up here are really quite good compared to the rest of Australia. But we want to preserve them for the future and keep them this way.
I think if people aren't taught to protect the reef and love the reef, then they'll neglect it and they're not going to understand what it really means to us.
These young people are the future decision makers of this industry, so we want to be filling them with as much knowledge and as much passion and building that connection. And the best way to do that is to get them out there and immerse them. So our main trip was up to Lizard Island for a week on board a beautiful vessel with a couple of JCU scientists. We did coral reef surveys, we monitored for crown of thorns starfish.
Probably the coolest part that we've had is just swimming in the green zone. Like, there is so much fish, and just over there in Mermaid Bay, there was the most beautiful coral I've ever seen.
I learned so much about jellyfish and sharks and everything about the reef.
When young people get to experience marine wildlife, there's a deep connection formed, and those sorts of connections and those experiences can certainly shape people's careers. And so seeing this marine wildlife in its native environment all in the space of a few days was just an extraordinary experience.
Classrooms, you sit down, you write stuff down and do an exam, that's the last you talk about it. Whereas out here, the reef, the river, it's all on our doorstep. So you're out here every weekend, every morning, every afternoon. It really hits home, like looking after the place, watching it grow, like what we can do to help it and pass on to the younger generation for them to help it as well. All these little roots coming off these mangroves here, right?
Mangroves?
Yeah, so these are all mangroves. See it just there, swimming around?
Yeah, that's so cool. Yeah, I can
What is it?
It's a mud crab.
Ready? I've grown up here all my life. I've seen changes over the years, and just to start the kids off the way I got shown, just want to pass on to the younger generation, and let them experience the same I did.
Through this Young Reef Leaders program, we've taken these young people out into the field with industry professionals and given them the opportunity to ask lots of questions, to see the places that we're working to protect, to build that connection up so that they might find their own career path that leads them to protecting these areas.
I've kind of been told, there's not many jobs and there's not much career opportunities, but this program's just completely changed my perspective on that, and it's shown me all the different pathways that you can get into them kind of jobs and how us as individuals can help protect the reef.
Now that I've learned all of this, I think it's really just added fuel to the fire, which is my passion of science and of conservation.
We've had the kids out on country with Indigenous rangers, we've had them on wetlands with environmental engineers, we've had them on the reef with jellyfish and shark scientists. So we've had this really wide range of mentors that have shown them so many different career paths.
It's been a really good experience. We've learned a lot of different things, how land affects like the ecosystem and the life out at the reef.
Then the wet season rains come, and you guys know how heavy it rains here. If the soil's bare, it just scours away and straight down into the gullies, straight out into the creeks.
So we recognise the urgency of mentoring our next generation, and that's the crucial step to creating a sustainable future.
These guardians of tomorrow are not just learning about the environment, they're living it. And with the industry mentors guiding them, they're gaining the tools they need to be the change makers our planet needs.
We need to give back as much as it gives to us.
In the face of challenges, there's always hope. As these young minds absorb the knowledge passed down to them, they're shaping a better future for the reef and a sustainable tomorrow.